Show. The Big Show.
Hello, Seawolves, and welcome back to The Big Show. I'm Amira Riyad.
And I'm Arlie Bagwan.
We are now into the second week of October and the second week of the semester, and the 7th week of the semester. I can't believe it. I think the semester is moving quite fast. Many of our fellow Seawolves are well into the midterm season, but will be able to decompress a bit from the stress of classes and exams during the upcoming fall break. I'm very excited to take a break. Are you excited, Arlie?
Yes, I'm so excited. Midterms have been so stressful, so a break is just what we need. I wish it was a little longer, but I'll take what I can get.
I agree. I'm simply glad to have a break and hoping for some nice weather.
The meteorologist gods are not being too kind to our generation studying in Florida. State is right on the path of a super big, super scary hurricane named Milton.
Let's shift gears a bit and find out more from our meteorologist, Jason Kittograd. Jason?
Thanks, Amira. There's another hurricane firing up in the Gulf not even 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene made landfall. Hurricane Milton is expected to be the strongest hurricane to hit Florida in the last 7 years, with sustained winds of up to 120 miles per hour. Currently a Category 3, Hurricane Milton is just 2 days out from landfall. Moving at 8 miles per hour, it is projected to reach Cat 4 strength by Tuesday and make landfall Wednesday evening. Storm surges and evacuations are already in place along Florida's Gulf Coast, with expected rainfall to exceed 15 inches in some parts of the state. Back to you, the desk, with more on the Hurricane Watch.
Thanks, Jason. Boy, I'm glad I'm not studying in Florida. That sounds scary.
I agree. Last week, we told you about students feeling Hurricane Helene at the University of Florida. The Gators are back in their dorm there. Now we've learned that students at the University of Tampa are under mandatory evacuation orders. And just within the last hour, we spoke to a student at Florida Atlantic University.
All power has been lost in the buildings on campus, although it's only been raining. So wow, the hurricane hasn't even hit yet and it's already lost power.
This may come as a shock to us, but this is just a regular week for Floridians, seeing that Florida receives the most hurricanes in the U.S.
To size up our own weather situation, our man Robert is standing outside. Robert?
The leaves are falling and the air is crisp. That can only mean one thing. Autumn is here. I'm standing right now on the Academic Mall. You can see the beautiful fall foliage around me. Leaves are starting to change their color. You know, this morning when I walked out the door, the air was just a little bit more bitter than the past couple weeks. And when I got in the car, I put on Red Taylor's version because that's what time of year it is, folks. This morning on your way to class, you might notice a little bit of rain, but that wrapped up right around 10:30. And for today's one-day forecast, you're going to see highs of 71, lows of 51, and the temperature is just going to continue to drop for the rest of the evening. I'm so excited fall is here. I'm sure the rest of you Seawolves are as well. Let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Robert. Yeah, I've been thinking about the weather this morning when I was out and it was raining. I had to refresh my curls so many times because the weather made my hair super frizzy. But rain is just part of the fall season, a phenomenon like apples.
These fruits are sweet and optimistic significance in the Jewish tradition. Mary Mang has the story.
The Jewish Student Association at SBU hosted a special candy apple making event celebrating Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, at 7 p.m. Monday, September 30th in Union Suite 11. Countless students gathered to dip apples in honey, a traditional practice symbolizing the wish for a sweet and prosperous year ahead. Michelle, the president of the association, explained the significance of Rosh Hashanah and why they organized this event.
Personally, I attended my third year. The last 2 years I've gone home for Rosh Hashanah. It's the first year that I'm not going to be able to. So I just figured that since not everybody, goes to school close to home or has the opportunity to do so, that having like some sort of like familiar holiday related thing that's like fun and social and they can like hang out with other people, like that would make it fun for people, like, have some sort of Jewish community for the event.
Among the attendees were Gabriella and Eli, who shared how meaningful it was, allowing them to express their identity and connect with fellows who share the same heritage.
I like my sweet tooth. I like this event. I think it's very creative. I don't think it's ever done. I don't think JSA has ever done anything like this before, so I'm a big fan.
Wow. And for the religious part, I like how it incorporates Judaism, how we have the New Year, and it just really shows that we're just trying to have, it's the beginning of the semester. Let's have a nice, sweet New Year, a sweet semester, and, continue on with positive thoughts.
The apple-making event ended with attendees embracing the spirit of Rosh Hashanah, and the JSA committed to fostering future celebrations and connections among students.
We live in New York, there are apples everywhere, and we didn't know about this tradition.
But we know there's been a very difficult year for everyone involved in the Middle East conflict. In fact, today marks the 1-year anniversary of the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Our Middle East correspondent, Mackenzie Post, is here to tell us more. Mackenzie?
Hostage families and protesters stood in silence in Jerusalem as a siren sounded, marking the moment Hamas unleashed its brutal attack. In Tel Aviv, a man blew the shofar, a ram's horn used in Jewish religious ceremonies, to note 1 year since the deadliest attack in Israel's history. People also gathered at the site of the music festival, where hundreds were killed October 7th. 28-year-old Idan Shtavi was taken from the festival. After nearly a year of trying to secure his safe return, his family learned Sunday he'd actually been killed in the attack, and Hamas had taken his body.
I feel that my heart is broken, and after 1 year of struggling, I cannot understand what's going on, and I can't understand that he's not here.
Israel has been waging war in Gaza against Hamas since the attack. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed, including many civilians. Millions have also been displaced. Israel's leaders have vowed to continue fighting until Hamas is destroyed, but a year later, the group targeted the Tel Aviv area with rockets. In the United States, memorials and gatherings are taking place today to honor the anniversary of the attacks, while protests continue across the country in response to the ongoing conflict in Gaza. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden took part in a candle lighting ceremony remembering all those killed and taken that day.
Closer to home, here at Stony Brook University, there was a memorial and vigil this morning at the Academic Mall to remember the lives lost exactly 1 year ago on October 7th.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Later on today, outside of the administration building, the Jewish Student Organization will also be holding a vigil and memorial service. Lives all across the world, from students to citizens, have all been impacted by these terrible tragedies. I'm Mackenzie Post, back to you in the studio.
From the serious to the sublime, let's go to sports. Adrian?
Welcome to Adrian's Avenue, your road to knowing in what happened in all the sports I care about. The Jets lost 23-17 to the Minnesota Vikings in London yesterday. The Vikings are undefeated in 5 games this season, while the Jets have a 2-3 record. The Giants are also 2-3 after beating the Seattle Seahawks 29-20. In other football news, Stony Brook's Gridiron Guys' 4-game winning streak sadly came to an end this weekend after they lost to Villanova. It was nice while it lasted. The Seawolves had good offense but could not make the defense work. They are now 4-2 and are 3rd in the CAA. After splitting the wild card series 1 game apiece with the Milwaukee Brewers in a best-of-3 series and trailing 2-0 in the 9th inning, the Mets had little hope. Some fans even called for a trade for star Pete Alonso due to his lack of production. Alonso soon silenced the doubters with a heroic home run in the 9th inning, sending the Mets to the National League Division Series against the Phillies. This marks the first time the Mets and Phillies have ever met in the playoffs. In the first game of the NLDS, the Mets were down 1-0 until the 8th inning and came back to win 6-2. In the second game of the series, the Mets narrowly lost to the Phillies 7-6. Tomorrow, the Mets will play at home for the first time this postseason. The Yankees hosted the Kansas City Royals on Saturday in the American League Division Series. The game had 5 lead changes, but the Yankees eventually won 6-5. They will play again tonight at Yankee Stadium. Some New Yorkers are dreaming of a Subway Series, and I am definitely one of them. Up next, we have Jason Kittograd with the 7-day weather forecast. Jason?
Thank you, Adrian. As you heard from Robert earlier, it was a beautiful day, as you can see from this live shot courtesy of our friends at EarthCam in Port Jeff. We're starting off our week with a stormy Monday morning, but the rest of the week is looking up with some warm temperatures and plenty of sun to come. Let's take a look at our local 7-day forecast. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 60s, lows in the low 50s, and upper 40s. Mostly sunny from Tuesday and Thursday, but there will be some clouds passing through the region on these days. On Thursday, it cools down a bit, so definitely have your sweater handy, as the high is only 61 with a low of 47, with northwesterly winds around 15 miles per hour. It starts to warm back up Friday, and then we have a beautiful weekend. Saturday is going to be sunny, a sunny day in the low 70s, and Sunday should be almost the same, but just a bit cooler, with a few more clouds. That is all for our local 7-day forecast. Thanks for tuning in, and take advantage of the beautiful weather that is coming this week.
In other news, our very own Stony Brook University professor published a book straight from the Princeton Press. Musa El Gharbi will be on campus Tuesday, October 8 at 7 p.m. in Wang Lecture Hall 2.
Well, that's a wrap of today's show. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, fall break is right around the corner, so hang in there, okay? We're almost at the finish line. I'm Arlie Paguan.
And I'm Amira Riyad. Thanks for tuning in, Seawolves.
This is the big show. The big show.